It is what it is. Anyway, the SRL race just started. The players will be starting in a moment. So let's get our start timer button ready.
Less than 10-second delay, nice to see. So this race is between Tristal and Ouijawii. Tristal is the number 4 seed. Last year he was a long-time first place holder. He says he hasn't played over the last 2 weeks, or he hadn't played until last night. And he feels very out of practice, but he still has the skill. We'll see what happens with him today. Both players finding the Stones of Sunlight early. Ouijawii, I don't know how much he's been practicing, but he also played in the race last night. And I'm assuming he's in form. Both players step outside. Tristal immediately out of the starting zone finds a wolf. I didn't see what their strength is, but there's a town. Oh, it's Hawksness. So there is technically no town nearby.
It's a pile of rubble.
There's a pile of rubble nearby.
Which could be very convenient for later, but unfortunately for now, not so much.
So Ouijawii finding a couple red slimes early gets a slight early lead in experience.
10 strength. We have a control panel.
10 strength is very above average in terms of success rate for this kind of situation. Because there are red slimes, both players will have no problem getting to level 2. But so far, that's all that I've seen that they can fight. I was also surprised that neither player went strength agility. I really thought Tristal was going to stick to it. So yeah, Ouijawii gets a third enemy and makes it to level 2. I don't know why, but he's going into Hawksness. I guess he just wants to see what the enemy is. I thought maybe he might be checking what there was to grind in there. But it's a little early for that as well. Tristal makes level 2.
I'm trying to stop the echo. I'm making a wall.
Oh.
It's not going to do anything.
I could sit further away.
Yeah, there will be a small amount of echo, but please forgive us.
I could talk quieter and shield my mouth from the other microphone.
It's Dragon Warrior After Dark.
But it's so light out. What's happening? So there are Druins in Hawksness. That's one enemy they could fight. Ouijawii finds a red dragon, and of course he won't be returning there for a long time. Tristal taking an epic lead, doubling the experience of Ouijawii after getting to level 2 second. A full 6 experience between them.
How will Ouijawii catch up?
Well, he's got some tricks up his sleeve, and they're red, round, and lying in a field. Red slimes are coming pretty frequently. I'm guessing that they are still the only thing these two players can fight safely right now.
So we look it up in the ROM analysis. It turns out the Zone 0 monsters, there are 5 monster slots in each zone. Zone 0 has 3 red slimes and 2 scorpions. So that is all they will be finding in this zone.
Oh wow, all the zones around are fantastic as well. So one more to go for Tristal for level 3, and we'll see if he gets any hurt spells or a large power increase. Ouijawii not far behind at all, just one red slime separating these two players.
We are not able to see the map itself, but with the program it does offer you a small analysis of the beginning of the game in hopes of finding a seed that is, well, too tough to start out with for a tournament.
Tristal learning the heal spell at level 3 and Ouijawii shortly after. Just going to give them a bit of longevity in this red slime fighting situation. Ouijawii, it looks like, is trying to branch out. Both players trying to fight a scorpion, and it does look like it's the right time with the heal spell now. Both players have already done 4 damage. And even though Ouijawii's out of MP, he's also going to get a scorpion.
So I think I just saw Sherlock right down there.
Yes.
How cute. We just had a seed where Sherlock was right beside the castle.
Ouijawii finding a red slime this far away. I'm really surprised he started moving before he got level 4, but he ended up finding a red slime to put him over the top. And Ouijawii now knows that east of Sherlock is a dead end. And he found a ghost. Amazing. Tristal unfortunately just taking 5 damage from that scorpion. And Ouijawii trying to fight a warlock with no MP. He had no chance there. I assume he was just ready to suicide so that he could get back to grinding.
But Hurtmore sure makes it a faster process.
Yeah, he's happy about that. I can't draw a map when I'm focused on both players, the action between them and everything. If I'm commentating, I'd much rather be focused on where they're both at.
Now, if only you could convince them to walk the exact same way at the exact same time.
Oh, that would make it a lot easier. Another dead end for Ouijawii, who's getting an early lead in exploration, while Tristal's sticking to an early lead in experience with those scorpions that are still very valuable for his situation. And Ouijawii's still getting really lucky with the enemies he's finding, killing a magician, obviously not worth as much as a scorpion, but still making progress as he branches out. Alright, this scorpion will put Tristal to level 5. And he just discovered, I don't know if he saw this before or not, I didn't, but scorpions have heal. But he can two-shot them if he gets the right numbers. So there's level 5.
So Ouijawii finds a cave in his exploration.
He's gonna beat up a Drakima regardless. Definitely the right move, gonna put him very close to level 5. Tristal's grind is going super fast. Whoa, there's a town across from that cave. It looks like it's on an island from here. The enemy luck Ouijawii is getting as he branches out is just shocking to me. I can't blame him for trying to beat a warlock, but even if the warlock has 25% hurt more, it's way too likely that he's going to see one hurt more before he's able to kill a warlock. So basically just hoping for an excellent move.
Even if it's still 25% hurt more, at this level you have a 100% chance of death! Woo, scary.
It is scary.
Yeah, until you can get your health up there or magically find some armor that will help you survive it, you don't want to have to worry about dealing with that. But he is brave.
Tristal now 2 battles away from level 6. If he finds a red slime, I was going to say he will swipe at it, because now he's 1 scorpion away from the next level. If he found another, I bet he would run. Another small power increase, and no spells, so Tristal, well, he's starting to pace. I mean, he might be looking at the next zone now that he has a little bit more HP and power, plus heal. And I think there are some enemies in the next zone that he'll be very happy with. Metal Scorpion, not one of them. Oh, wait, he is strong enough. Yeah, he can handle this. That's excellent. Gonna do a safety heal in case the Metal Scorpion dodges. He does have some dodging agility.
Ouijawii finds his way over to Garenham, the little town that looked like it was on the island. And look, there's an old man causing some trouble, loitering around.
Ouijawii choosing the exit. I always exit for Cantlin when the shopkeeper's checking Facebook, but I don't think I've ever done it in Garinham. I did exit Garinham one time when the lady on the right side was blocking the inn. I walked all the way back in. I think that was actually in my last tournament match.
Is there any chance that you noticed the guy checking Facebook in my match? Boy, was I cross with him. Alright, Ouijawii dons the scale of the dragon. And he only has enough money for nothing. I was going to say he could only afford clothing and a bamboo pole if they did exist, but perhaps he'll be back after he makes a little bit of money. Alright, so Ouijawii comes back to grinding after getting his very safe scale of the dragon. He's very well equipped now to handle the slimes and scorpion piles. Zone 0 is only scorpions and red slimes. Could we call it the red zone?
Well, to be fair, scorpions are kind of pink.
Pink is a shade of red.
They're like lobster salmons on the grass.
Lobster salmons?
Yeah, like they're in the shape of lobsters, but they're the color of salmon.
Well, bears eat salmon.
So I've heard.
So Ouijawii finds a golem. I think Ouijawii's going back home here. Tristal still grinding away. How much experience is he at? It is a very beautiful swamp. I'd love to know how much experience he has, but Tristal has killed every single enemy in the red zone.
Ouijawii still opting for exploration over killing 2 scorpions to get the next level. And he's going into Hawksness again. I can't imagine what he's doing.
Meanwhile, Tristal is 37 experience away from the next level. A couple of scorpions will do that if he throws some slimes in on the side.
Oh, it's actually 4 scorpions for Ouijawii's next level. But I don't know what he's looking for in Hawksness. It looks like he's deciding not to try for it again, whatever it was.
Maybe he'd just rather fight something other than a bunch of slimes.
Well, he can certainly defeat a wolf. In fact, he can beat it on this attack, which is why he didn't heal, and he did do enough damage, although it was a risk. 15 more experience for the next level.
Meanwhile, if Tristal finds a scorpion, I believe that'll give him his next level?
Yes, indeed.
No, yes, no.
Oh no, it's one
he'll be off by 1.
1 off.
So, I wonder if he recognizes that, if he would kill 1 red slime just to put him within the threshold or not.
Oh, I bet he will. Oh, we
well,
won't get to see.
Not if the slime is shy.
But I'm sure he will if he finds it. There you go.
Yeah, Hawksness can always be a fun place to check out just to change up your options if the outside world is not doing too well for you.
Yeah, Ouijawii already checked the spot in Hawksness. He found the red dragon. Obviously, no reason to try fighting it now, so I can't imagine what he was going back in for.
Well, just possibly to see what else was in the region of Hawksness.
He saw a druid in there, and of course those are fightable, but I think it's better to look around for zone 1 and 2 around the castle.
Yeah, the golems are a little less appealing at this level. Just a little.
Just a little.
So Tristal is actually back to his double the experience lead. Now it's a little bit more significant, but we're still very early game, so let's not panic. Tristal's finally opting to go out for some exploration, choosing a different way than Ouijawii went, so perhaps we'll be able to find something new.
Tristal can already handle Druid Lords, a huge boost.
Scoping out the swamp and he gets his boots dirty.
Ouijawii just about to get level 6 from this Scorpion. Tristal finds another cave.
And he gets away from the golem. Another cave just slightly below the cave that he finds, so we'll find out. First one is Stones of Sunlight cave.
I'm guessing it's the sword because I'm seeing Tristal flipping out. Oh, no, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was so sure it would be the sword because of that. Maybe he's just doing it on purpose. Maybe he knows I'm watching him.
He was excited to find a cave that he could enter and not use a torch for.
I guess so.
It's hard to say. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Tristal has some beautiful facial expressions while he is playing Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Last year, during his Dragon Lord fight, he had a very wide range of emotions upon finding that he wasn't going to be the Dragon Lord, and then he tried to hurt more, and it worked. It was a very beautiful sight to show.
Tristal also finding that dead end by the mountains. And beats a Warlock with an excellent move.
He doesn't know the horrors yet.
If he had the hurt spell, he would definitely try to beat this Rogue Scorpion, but without hurt, he has no way to beat it right now. He will try to heal to get a free chance to run, and he does get away. Relatively rough zone around Charlock, but it looks like it's going to be a very valuable zone later on. Not that anyone's going to grind there.
Yeah, you've got some very nice grinding options right next to Tantagel. You've got Hawksmith to the north and Charlock to the south.
Looks like Ouijawii is now ready to take his money shopping. I assume he can buy... I know there's a club there and maybe leather armor as well.
I believe that's what I did see.
It's so interesting to watch two players take two separate paths.
So yes, Ouijawii buys the club and leather armor. He is a little slightly more equipped. He goes off on an adventure.
Metal Scorpion still spelling Value Town for Tristal, who is now very close to level 8.
Yeah, 54 experience away for Tristal, I believe, to the next level. And Ouijawii should be getting pretty close to his next, I believe, as well. Okay, he's a little further away than I thought.
Only taking 16 from a Wraith Knight. I guess his agility has gotten fairly up there from levels, and he has leather armor and dragon scale as well. Demon Knights have hurt more. Not that Demon Knights are appealing to fight for a long time. Very spell resistant.
And they're way too agile. So Tristal learns the Warlocks of Herbmore. It's an educational time for everybody.
Yeah, aside from red dragons, metal slimes, and the orange dragon himself, Demon Knights are the most agile enemy in the game. Not in terms of defense, but purely in terms of dodging ability. The CODs are just pouring in right now. What monsters would Ouijawii be looking for at this point beyond scorpions? Well, there are a few in Zone 2 that he can fight, like if he found the skeletons, he can fight wolves. I think he's already beaten a wolf. The Wraith is probably on the edge of... He is trying to fight it, and I can't blame him because it looks like with his armor he can survive an attack without healing. So this is a totally doable fight. Oh, unfortunately the Wraith Knight does a big 15. But he can beat Wraiths.
Yeah, their strength isn't that low, but their defense really isn't all that to look at right now, unfortunately.
And of course the metal scorpions that Tristal has been finding that have been so valuable. Tristal trying to manipulate his way out of that blue dragon battle. No dice.
You always want to dream that the command will give you what you're looking for.
Yeah, I like Wolf Lords as well. I haven't seen any here yet. Actually, I haven't seen Wolf Lords in a while. Command. Alright, both players looking towards the next tier of enemies right now. Wraiths and Wolves being fought.
And also both players within around 30 experience to their next level.
So both players will get levels if they win these combats.
So there we Ouijawii getting to level 7.
And Tristal making it to level 8.
Alright, what do we get with this new level? Zero
no
attack power. Oh, I
no
love it!
Spell.
I don't know if you're allowed to use 0 spells as a backup to 0 of another stat. I don't think it's officially in the MTI rules.
No.
Boss Dragonlord doesn't want to grant you the time off.
Golems actually have super low agility, but this early, both players are finding it very difficult to get away from them.
Yeah, they're always relatively easy to run from, but of course they also hit very hard, so if it's very early game, they're still scary anyway.
Tristal making it across the swamp to Garinham, as seen across the water.
And if I'm remembering properly, he should be able to buy a club and a leather armor. I don't believe there was anything more middle range.
Well, he's probably going to get the dragon scale first, so maybe just the leather armor, but I don't know. I could see him choosing the club over the armor because no hurt spell and they're fairly weak right now.
It has been donned.
He's thinking about the choice, and he chooses the club, indeed, for attack power.
And out of town we go. We find an armored knight. He is very angry. They're usually very angry. Look at that look on their face. So Tristal will be sent back home. Ouijawii hanging out in probably what is Zone 2 on the hills over here. He's got some scorpions and wolves. It's looking like pretty decent leveling for him. He's actually getting pretty close to level 8 himself.
So both players on pretty even keel so far. Neither has found anything terribly significant over the other. And pretty much, like, the difference in experience between them is about the equivalent to a green dragon. Tristal with another cod. And the difference in experience between them, less than 100 now, which we always like to see. The closer the race is, the better.
So Ouijawii likes to stick to the grinding right now, and Tristal is doing the exploration, kind of the opposite of what we saw early on. Tristal is not happy about his spell being blocked. He will run immediately. He's trying to stay safe and alive. Oh, that is right. He did find 2 caves over here, and I believe he only got to see what was inside one of them. So perhaps he'll be able to find out the other one. Meanwhile, Ouijawii actually takes the lead in experience here. It is 10 behind, or not 10, 13 ahead currently. And will continue to as long as he continues to grind here.
Tristal picking up the gold again from the Stones of Sunlight Cave.
Could he be doing a small gold grind, perhaps?
Yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense.
We're seeing this again. Interesting.
I know there's a lot of armor to pick up. The hand axe he can already afford. He could also just want to have enough for the broadsword when he finds a new town. He might get one more so he can get broadsword and half plate. That wouldn't surprise me.
We can make our assumptions based on how much money he leaves with.
Now he might be tempted to get one more just in case there's full plate, but if he does that, then he might want more for a broadsword. So I think he's going to be here for a while. The temptation.
It's a slippery slope. I mean, it's easy to not want to grind out to the high tier items, but it's, you know, the combination of possibly full plate, broadsword, large shield, that's tempting, but it looks like he is done for now. So 34.60.
He stops at full plate money. And finds the mountain cave.
So I suppose currently he is valuing the exploration over the money that he chose, or perhaps he was just grinding enough to have enough for a broadsword if he happens to die. Since he did know that there was another cave right away to look in. Meanwhile, I actually didn't realize that I was watching Tristal, but Ouijawii has made it up to level 9. And he's got heal more and stop spell, so that will help the exploration for sure. And it looks like they got very small stats otherwise comparing the two of them, but the heal more is definitely the starter of more exploration here. Though of course, when they do have not as much health, the regular heal spell is fine, but it does make it easier to take on some larger enemies sometimes.
Tristal donning the fighter's ring.
No, you don't don the fighter's ring. You put it on.
Uh-oh, metal slimes have hurt more. That's a really bad sign. He tries to run, but fortunately the metal slime chooses to run.
What a little cutie. So Ouijawii buys a hand axe and chainmail. Looks like that is it.
That's going to serve him really well. Chainmail makes a big difference. It's nice to have half plate or full plate, but if all you can afford is chainmail, it makes a huge difference.
So Tristal gets hurt more a few times by Mr. Metal Slime. Unfortunately, he will be sent back home with half his money, but he might go shopping anyway.
Did he get the last chest? If he missed the last chest, that could be a big deal.
I don't believe that he did. I think he was on the way there.
Those darn metal slimes. It's frustrating when metal slimes are everywhere and they have sleep or hurt more fire breath.
Yeah, not only are the metal slimes difficult to kill, but they're also difficult to run from. So if they have a really buggery spell and you're very weak, it could be a huge problem. They can end up killing you more than you kill them. I think I just saw Ouijawii stop spelling the trees. Very wise, you never know what they could be up to. Then again, there's me. I started talking to the map sometimes. The town on the Desert Peninsula is Garenham.
And Tristal makes it there with a good chunk of money. He should also be able to, yes, of course, to buy the hand axe and chainmail. In fact, he has enough for half plate. naturally that's what he chooses.
So that's a nice upgrade for him, and the loiterer in the shop is even not in the way, so he will buy a few more herbs.
It's a good thing for Racer's sake that treasure chests give so much gold in Randomizer, so there's not much to think about in general when it comes to gold grinding. If they gave less, like maybe 200 or 300, you know, it would take a long time to grind up to, say, a silver shield. That would make decision-making very different.
So probably Tristal's next enemy will give him his level.
And I'm sure he can... Wow, he ran from a wyvern. Darn golems are everywhere. The wolf will do it. Meanwhile, Ouijawii continuing his rapid exploration. But unfortunately getting cut short by a wyvern. Both players now at level 9. And Tristal seeing the good news of heal more. Ouijawii cut short again, so this is going to even both players out a little bit in terms of experience. Cods everywhere.
Yeah, Ouijawie's still ahead by about 200, but not a whole lot right now. It sure feels like there will be a fair amount of things that'll send them away, send them back home. Oh, this is a very codly seed. This is a very codly seed indeed. So Ouijawii finds new cave, and this one is the grave. Can only access the top 3 chests, but there's always a chance that there could be something exciting in there. Now, I'm not sure if Ouijawii has found the Wrath of the Metal Slime yet, but there it goes. He gets stop spelled and then hurt Mord. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did try to go back in there. Pretty much at this point, you don't have too much going for you. So finding a key would definitely be able to help open up some things. The gap is about 100 between the two of them right now in terms of experience. And Ouijawii is just short 100 of the next level. So Tristal finds Breckenry. Garenham found everything else, but the weapon shop could be different. So Tristal purchases the small shield, and I did see a broadsword there. Didn't catch what else was there. And you've got an inexpensive inn. Oh yes, the inn at Breckenary is very affordable. It is very rare that you cannot afford to stay there. Oh, so Ouijawii finds level 10. Let's see what it brings. 11 power, 13 speed, 11 hit points, and 12 magic. That is a definite improvement over the last level. Alright, so Tristal's found his way into a cave, and this looks like Swamp South. I don't believe they have outside, but finding a back door into Tantagel or Garenham would be pretty nice. He is also probably relatively close to level 10 as well, though I doubt he'll be fighting too much in here. Alright, he's about 124 away. And the other side of the swamp cave just takes you to a corner. A corner with some mountains and some swamp. And yeah, it looks like... I think this is the entrance that he just ran into, so... This would be a very cute map on my part where I would draw a little dotted line to connect the two of them. So Ouijawii heads back into the grave. He does make it to the chests. He finds big money, and an herb. Definitely not what you want to find in this sort of situation. But that is how the grave will roll at you sometimes. It's a very good cave. They dug underneath the water. Alright, with no outside, Ouijawii is walking back out, of course. And Tristal will be fighting a knight. I thought he was going to be put to sleep, but he had used Stop Spell. Okay, so Tristal finds the nice large level of 10. He looks very happy with that. And Ouijawii gets an excellent move on a Metal Slime. Nice Kaishin. Well, that's definitely a nice experience boost. And Ouijawii happens upon Remolder. So there will be keys. We are going to find out what is behind all of these doors.
Finding keys often constitutes a large advantage. Of course, it always depends on the seed, but this is a huge moment for Ouijawii, being nearly a level up as well. I didn't quite see how much money he has, but he could possibly upgrade, seeing as his weapons are a little bit on the shoddy side. Ouijawii refusing to pull a Nest Cardinality, searching the chest in Remolder.
And it's the wings, not random. So he would have enough to upgrade to, say, a broadsword or a half plate or a large shield if the store does have it. Definitely will check that out. So let's go shopping as soon as this guy is done. Oh, he was quite polite. So we've got a broadsword for Ouijawii.
Oh, there's no doubt Ouija is a skilled player. It's becoming increasingly apparent to me that pretty much anyone in the top 15 or so could win this tournament. Just depends on how their races, the individual races, go.
So right after finding Remolder, Ouijawii finds Cantlin. We might be finding out some coordinates very soon.
Ouijawii with keys, using his extra money to fill up on keys in Cantlin. This may be the last time he actually has to buy keys.
Checking out what's in the shop. I don't believe we've seen a silver shield anywhere yet, so of course that has to be what he is looking for. I believe I just heard a nice Kaishin on Tristal's side.
Tristal catching up rapidly in experience while Ouijawii spends time in Cantlin, but of course Tristal is going to be spending time in Cantlin in the future. Very hard to gauge where players are at when the paths diverge like this, but it's interesting to watch as the different dynamics cause fluctuations in the experience gap.
So as far as the coordinates go, it flashed by pretty quickly, but I'm pretty sure it said 17 north and 72 west. So we've got a small amount of a hike. Alright, and we get to find what's in the treasury.
Always fun. The death necklace is acquired. There's gold for a grind.
Big money. So 2 cursed items and 2 big monies.
And I figure Ouijawii will fill up his keys again, but what he's really doing is going for the cave.
It's so convenient though, it's right there.
Yeah. I would do it every time.
Now please tell me, who decided to put a key shop right behind a locked door?
Excellent question.
Not a very good business proposition.
And yet somehow it ended up working really well for Dragon Warrior as a whole. Even in the original game, I like that the shop is there. Ouijawii now knows where he'll be getting the rainbow drop.
So it looks like he chooses not to count out the coordinates yet. Or he will save the princess in my dreams.
So Ouijawii's experience lead is now slight, but he does have keys and a lot of information.
And we're about to get some more information. What
Access
cave
to
is
Garin.
left? Isn't the tablet cave the only one that we haven't seen? I believe so.
They've been through the swamp cave?
Yes. The swamp cave digs underground into very close to each other positions.
Then I think you're right.
Now we haven't seen all of the chests in either the grave or the mountain cave.
And Ouijawii going through that tablet cave.
And we
More
find the wings. We can fly. So if I'm thinking about it, we haven't seen Cole yet, and I believe that's the last thing that we have yet to actually find. And we have no information yet as to where the token armor or fairy flute are. But it looks like Ouijawii's starting to count it out. So we could find out one very soon. Erdrick socks. They're insulated with wool to keep you to keep your feet fuzzy while you walk through the swamp. Players are still roughly within 100 experience from each other from the looks of it. This was, I believe, the Shrine Cave and I think the Mountain Cave.
Looks like both players... Oh, I was going to say both players are about to reach level 11 at the same time, but Tristal falling to a Night with Sleep.
Oh, right. Stones of Sunlight Cave, not the Shrine Cave. Anyway, Ouijawii did a very nice count, and he picked up Erdrick's armor, so that's going to set him pretty well. I believe this one here is the Mountain Cave, though.
Yeah, just knowing that Tristal has to get keys, get the coordinates, and find the armor, you start to see how big a deal it is that Ouijawii actually has the armor with approximately equal experience. Definitely a big deal.
And there is also a chance that we will get to find out what the final chest is in this cave. And if it is a key item, there is a chance the Tristal might not go to there right away, just because when you have one chest versus finding all the other chests, not always the thing you want to do right away.
Tristal has been playing really well, and currently does have the experience lead. It's just amazing sometimes how much of a factor luck of exploration can be. He hasn't found Remolder yet, and keys are very important in this race, of course. Tristal up to level 11 first.
2-2, 6-2, and did I just see a hurt more?
You saw a hurt more.
Well, Tristal is going to start going through these enemies pretty quickly. That will definitely help him in his exploration.
Ouijawii sleep locking a Knight. I don't think the Knight is going to be enough experience for the next level, but very, very close. The next enemy will do it.
Yeah, I think he's 4 away.
Yes.
So as long as he doesn't find a slime pile.
Come on, Ouijawii, don the fighter's ring.
No, don't don it. Just put it on.
I vote for donning, but Ouijawii put it on. Other players must know something about fighter's ring accessory wearing that I don't. Interesting, Metal Slimes also have Stop Spell. Tristal managing to run away from a Metal Slime. Walking through Garen's grave in the dark. He is about to open the herb. He's standing on the chest. Will Ouijawii get another Metal Slime? He's already done one hit. There's a second. Can he get the final hit? Not yet. Metal Slime casts Hurt More, and Ouijawii gets it. So a Stop Spell and at least 4 attacks, and the Metal Slime didn't run away in that time. Ouijawii gets level 11.
So Tristal finds Cantlin. He does not have the keys to get the coordinates, but he might be able to upgrade some armor, though actually he did pretty well for himself when he bought things. However, I do remember Remolder was very nearby, so there's a chance he might be able to get there very soon.
Tristal deciding against the large shield in favor of the broadsword, despite the fact that he has Hurtmore. That was a bit of a surprise, but he could already be thinking about things such as Hawksness. Fighting that red dragon now that he has Healmore. And hoping that the armor is there, which we know it's not. But he doesn't know that yet. Ouijawii opening the Death Necklace chest and getting small gold before starting his gold grind on one of the big chests.
Yeah, and with gold in the last chest of the mountain cave, it definitely means that the harp will have to be in the shrine. Or the grave, rather. The harp will be in the shrine later when you give it to the man.
Right. And then the man will disappear with it.
And then the harp will no longer be in the shrine, and we don't know where it goes after that.
I have to assume that old man has tamed some wild monsters and lives with them and plays the harp to delight them.
That makes sense.
Kind of a nice picture.
He probably lives in a field of Darth Bears. So looks like Ouijawii is going to be grinding for a flame sword and silver shield. Almost there.
I can never blame people for doing this. I do it myself when it's becoming likely that Erdrick's sword will be in Sharlock. And especially knowing that a red dragon is in Hawksness, it's important to be able to fight them as efficiently as possible, so it's only a few extra seconds to get the gold for a flame sword. It makes sense.
I believe that... My sentence ran away.
I believe that too.
I believe that too. I believe what you just said.
I think Tristal just bought something in Cantlin, but I didn't see what it was.
Aw, shucks. I was watching the gold grind.
My guess is it was a large shield, but I didn't see how much gold he had. I'm pretty sure the silver shield exists in either Garinham or Cantlin.
I believe we did see one in Cantlin, a silver shield.
Yeah.
Tristal did buy a large shield?
Large shield, yeah. And Ouijawii has been inside the Cantlin shop behind the door. He may have seen a flame sword there. We'll find out soon. I'm sure he's right on his way to buy things. It's not like he's super safe right now. It's rough being taken out by an Armored Knight when you have Hurtmore. The worst is when your HP is in the 50s. It's early on in the game, you could benefit so much from an Armored Knight, but unfortunately they attack first, and suddenly you realize you're not going to survive 2 Hurtmores. Tristal may not have seen this red dragon before. I assume he's just gonna... Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry. He has Hurtmore now, so he's gonna... Healmore, rather, so he's gonna try and fight it. He's going to have to do a few double Healmores and get lucky. And unfortunately, like, you can see the difficulty when the red dragon can do as much as 45. Very unlikely that he can survive, even with the amount of Healmores he has. I doubt he will try again at this level. I think he'll wait for the next one. Already casting Repel and heading in the opposite direction.
So flame sword for Ouijawii and the silver shield he will find somewhere.
I think it's Garinham. We'll find out.
But yeah, red dragons are very dangerous pretty much all the time until you're very high level. They will hit you for so hard that, despite the fact that I may be tempting, probably would not be touched for a little while. I imagine, especially for Ouijawii, since he does already have the armor, he'd probably favor finding coal instead before trying to fight the red dragon.
Ouijawii now heading down the grave.
We'll get to see the final 2 chests and find out if Mr. Dragonlord has stolen the sword or not.
Another COD for Tristal. Still in the experience lead, though. And very close to level 12.
I really do believe that we have seen a silver shield somewhere, but I cannot remember exactly where it did come from. Oh hey, it's a level time. $17 MP will help a bit. Yeah, perhaps I could be mistaken as well. When I watch too much Dragon Warrior or play Dragon Warrior in a day,
It's easy to be thinking about the previous seed or something like that.
I jumble everything up.
Like, honestly, guys, if you're practicing for a race, most of you probably already know this, but playing a seed before your race is very dangerous. You just might end up mixing things up.
So, with the key being in... Yes, another key behind a magic door. With the key being in that chest where the cursed belt normally lives, I believe the harp is going to be in the silver harp chest. Have we said not random enough in a few spaces today?
Of course, with all the chests that are in the game, it's likely that we'll see 1 or 2 of those in any given race.
And with this also definitely does say that the token will be in either Hawksness or Coal, not in a chest itself. And there we have a harp. And of course, it will not appear on the second player side, but please everybody realize that Ouijawii does have the harp.
Tristal finding Breckenary. I don't think I had seen anyone in this town yet.
Oh, he had been here already. You had stepped out for a bit. Yes, we found the very affordable inn. So Ouijawii being taken out by a wizard does lose silver shield money.
There are not many mountains on this map. There's like a lot of plains and forests stretching endlessly.
We're going back to Gardenham.
Not stopping at the shop. I must have been wrong about the silver shield there.
Also, he doesn't have the money for it anymore as he was just wiped out.
Also, he doesn't have the money for it anymore as he was just wiped out.
A wizard just wiped him out and took away half of his money when he was killed.
But not all of it. I mean, he's a fair wizard.
50% of his money was taken away, and now he does not have enough money to buy the silver shield. So this is the tablet cave, I believe? Yes. So if he really wants some more wings, he can get them, but I think that will not be what he does. He's probably trying to remember where the shrine cave is at the moment, I assume, which I believe was that way, which is west. I'm pointing that way. Now, despite all this, Tristal is still maintaining his experience lead. Now, with Ouijawii having fewer things to find, coming closer and closer, I feel like that will be difficult to maintain, but as long as he keeps finding decent enemies and casting her more, it'll help.
Yeah, the fact that Tristal has gotten such a large lead means that once he catches up, like, Ouijawii will probably start grinding sooner. And as Tristal finds his last few items, it could be very close between the two of them when their paths merge.
Yeah, what we'll probably find Tristal taking the most time will just be counting out the coordinates itself, and of course backtracking to the places that he's already discovered when he didn't first get to them with keys.
And Ouijawii finding level 12. Learns a spell. He has no shield yet. Another dead end there.
And Tristal finds coal. He is the first one to find it. Do we get to play not random enough?
Yes.
We do. So the token is in Hawksness. There's a Silver Shield. Silver Shield exists in coal.
Now he knows. He could just pick up a few extra, like even the treasury at home. He can go there and pick up over 1,000 gold just from one visit. So he could do some sort of shortened grind to get the rest of his gold.
We do know that Tristal needs to go to the bottom of the grave so he can get the harp, so he could easily set up a grind there if he chose to. So Ouijawii is just coming back to around what I believe is... Oh, never mind, this was the Stones of Sunlight Cave. Where was that shrine cave? I know we did come across it. I think it was closer to Tantagel, actually, now that I remember. Yeah, soggy socks for everyone. Now, does Ouijawii wish to go for the Silver Shield this way?
I imagine he'll do it at least a little bit. Wow, he doesn't. Like, he didn't have to go all the way. He's still got enemies to fight, and enemies give a lot of gold. But it could have brought him a lot closer.
So Tristal does come upon Remolder. It is key time. It is time for him to open up the rest of the seed and make it his. That's the dream, at least.
So gradually we'll see their paths converge on the grind spot. Maybe in a half an hour or so from now, we'll see.
Now you definitely have to think that on his side, finding keys over an hour in, that's definitely a bit of a stressful situation. But I believe he has found everything else, so at the very least, that'll hopefully make it a little bit easier on his side. Ouijawii's still combing the land, I assume, trying to remember where the shrine cave is, trying to find coal, which he doesn't need, but he doesn't know that. So off we go. I do remember Kathleen being close by to here, so he might go to get the coordinates right away, but that's hard to say. He also might want to keep on his exploration. Three power 8 speed, 1 and 2, not a very grand level. Ouijawii finds his way back to the shrine cave. We'll exchange this harp, which is totally checked off, for the Staff of Rain, which does appear. We are all aware. So Tristal will be going to Kathleen. He will find the coordinates. And looks like he is set to count them out himself. Or not. Possibly check out Garenham. I believe that's the way he's headed.
The jerk is in Tentagel.
Alright, I cannot remember the map too well. Oh, there it is. Good. So in here, Tristal will find... I don't believe anything super important was in here. But of course, he does not know that.
And of course, this is the moment where we really start to see Ouijawii's equipment lead manifest as he starts to catch up in experience. It's going to happen really fast. He's already fighting a green dragon, which I believe is worth 135.
And of course, Tristal won't be gaining experience as much during the search time, especially through a town and a tablet cave.
Ouijawii taking a brief visit back to her molder to make sure it still looks nice.
See the sights.
And I think this is... oh no, it's Cantland. I guess this is what he was looking for. He just didn't realize he was walking into her molder.
Perhaps he forgot if the bottom shop had the silver shield or not?
I guess so.
He can't afford it right now.
But yeah, the large shield, I must have known that was there. And I'm sure he has the silver shield in mind if he actually gets enough gold from his grind.
Good point. Very small amount of savings for Tristal. Casting outside from the tablet cave. The small things can add up. Definitely nothing to scoff at.
Every bit is significant. Ouijawii selling his cursed belt so that he can buy a torch, I guess. Or maybe he was thinking about herbs. I'm not sure if he knows, but herbs don't actually require an item slot.
Yeah, watching Ouijawii count this one out, it didn't look like you had to go way out of your way to find where you wanted to go. So, I feel like Tristal will definitely have a good handle on this as well, and he will be happy with the results once he gets there.
Yeah, if the water isn't too windy, it's not that big a deal to go more than 60 steps in one direction. No, herbs do not require an item slot, and magic keys do not require an item slot. So the hero has 8 item slots in the game, and you can carry 8 items as well as 6 herbs and 6 magic keys.
Now, I don't blame Tristal to go for the red dragon right away, just because it is right next to Tantagel, and actually we're seeing 2 red dragon fights at the same time. But I suppose his thought is, it will take less time, in theory, to find out if he can at least kill the dragon.
Both players are certainly ready to beat a red dragon. Ouijawii might have to get some lucky rolls. He's prepared to do double heal mores until the red dragon does a smaller attack. It's not happening yet. Oh, he chooses to run. I guess since he has the armor, he doesn't feel the urgency to get there as quickly. And Tristal unfortunately falls as well.
Both of them taken out at the same time by a red dragon. So depending on how Tristal feel about that, he might start to count. Based on his repelling, I'm saying it's counting time for Tristal. So Ouijawii will get a little bit more catch-up time here as well. I believe this will get him his level, actually. So Ouijawii does catch up to level 13. So both players are still feeling unable to fight the red dragon. I definitely do not blame them. Past this, Tristal still does need to go to the bottom of the grave to get the harp. There's a chance Ouijawii might try and search out to find coal because he doesn't know what is there. And I think I did just see Ouijawii took a slight experience lead. He is 9 points ahead as I said that Tristal got ahead. And he did find Edric's armor, Tristal.
Things getting closer in all directions.
So it looks like Tristal is opting to go back to the mountain cave, I believe. Yeah, this is the mountain cave. He's going to look for the last chest, see what is inside it. He did not get it. We do know it is money.
Tristal just overshooting that down path and getting into a dead end, opting to cast Radiant. Once again, the Armored Knight getting the jump on him. He is going to try to heal more and hope for a lower attack than 33, and there he got it, so it's time for double Hurt More. Unfortunately, Hurt More did not work. He should still take the patient approach, just heal more again, take a small attack, and double Hurt More. And here's his next chance. And of course, he opts to play it safe with a little bit of extra magic and heal more again before delivering the final Hurt More.
So I'm not entirely sure what Ouijawii was trying to do there, but he did just cast Hurt More on a red slime.
Interesting.
That might be a little bit of overkill, but, you know, let's not judge him. So Tristal now knows the mountain cave is not the answer he's looking for. There's a lot of being beat up going on right now. The experience gap is just kind of jumping back and forth right now. Tristal, I imagine, is seeking out the grave. And Ouijawii probably just finding a nice cozy spot to grind in until red dragons are realistic enough for him. Just hoping for the Desert of Dreams. That's usually what you want to do. Sometimes in the situation you would try and dance over to Sherlock and see what they have inside, but of course when the red dragon is guarding the token, you don't have much chance in that, unfortunately. So Tristal gets a metal slime. That'll be a little bit nice for him and help offset the gap of experience between the two of them a little bit. Nice Kaishin for Ouijawii against the wizard. And looks like one more enemy for Ouijawii to hit level 14. lovely song. Alright, so the next level for Ouijawii, 13 power. That is the highlight. And some smaller stats.
Meanwhile, Tristal opting to fight a golem. It's a fight that takes a long time, but it gives a lot of experience, and he's eyeballing that level 14 right now. This won't get him there, but it'll get him very close.
Yeah, our strength is definitely up there. However, 71 HP, not entirely what you want to do to fight the Dragon Lord. That's a little bit too dangerous, I think.
I'm sure Ouijawii will be fighting the Red Dragon soon. I don't think he has anything left to find. Like, I think he's searched everywhere for Erdrick's sword.
Yes, Ouijawii has got every chest outside of the castle.
So I honestly think he's going to head straight to Hawksness now.
And Tristal gets to the next level.
Still very close between them. Ouijawii passing Hawksness. I'm very curious where he's going. Oh, he's found a desert grind zone. Let's see what's up here.
Mostly wizards from what I saw before.
And knights are fine. Yeah, he can kill wizards in 2 hits. A lot of them are going to be 3 hits, but he can beat them in 2 hits. I could see him just hoping for a little bit more HP from this level before he transitions to red dragons. The problem with this kind of thing, grinding with repel, like in this case, oh, there are rogue scorpions as well, so that's actually 3 enemies in the zone. That shouldn't be too bad at all. He hasn't put repel back on yet. Maybe he can repel rogue scorpions? I sort of doubt it, but anything's possible. At any rate, he doesn't have repel on right now, and there are at least 3 good enemies. The warlocks he doesn't want to waste his time with. And the wolves he doesn't want to waste. Oh, he did fight the wolf.
I feel like the wolf wouldn't be way too bad if you were consistently doing it in 1 hit.
I agree.
Like, they're not the best experience, but in comparison to what you'd get from some of the others for multiple hits, 40 experience isn't that terrible.
Yeah, he agrees as well, obviously. I'm so used to the experience values in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, you wouldn't believe how different they are in the original Dragon Warrior. Other than Metal Slimes, the red dragons are the enemies that give the most experience. They give 100.
What?
Yep.
That's so little. But wait. When do you get a chance to find a metal slime in Dragon Warrior Vanilla, oh man? Alright, so Silver Harp for Tristal. Discarding the Dragon Scale. And looks like he is keen on setting up a gold grind.
He knows where the silver shield is, so he can certainly benefit from it. And I imagine he'll get a flame sword as well. He's ready, or getting himself ready for that red dragon grind.
Yep, aside from the token, which Ouijawii also does not have, all he needs to do is get, I believe, the harp. I don't believe I saw Ouijawii get the rainbow drop, actually.
No, he doesn't have the token.
Right, that's a thing that a smart person who can think would be able to know, but you know. My brain isn't on right now. Yes, the sword is definitely in Sherlock, so if anyone chooses to get in their bets sooner rather than later, you can. However, we will be telling everyone to place their bets later on when the first person to walk in will go there.
I'll play. I take bottom middle.
I take middle middle. I always take middle middle.
Well, that won't hurt your chances at all. We've certainly seen the chest in the sword in every chest.
All right, let's take down. I've got someone on team middle with me.
Rufford, there is no middle top chest. There's top left and middle middle. I assume you mean middle middle, because like the top chest in the middle column.
Yeah, I always call it middle middle even though it's the middle of a grid of 9.
Azrael says top right. Now that's confusing.
Lots of guesses coming on here.
Every chest has been guessed. Yes, there are now 9 chests in the basement of Sherlock. You can do a fighter's ring grind in Sherlock before you fight the Dragon Lord.
Alright, so Ouijawii did hit level 15 while I was writing down all of your guesses. Apologies for missing that.
So he's got a lead that will probably extend to a full level now that he's already fighting the red dragons. Although they're going to be long battles, so it's not a guarantee. But he does have a lot of HP. One more heal more before he defeats this one. As Tristal picks up the Staff of Rain. And Ouijawii gets the token.
Almost. Almost. There it is. So Tristal, I believe, is going to be jerked on right now.
And McGrew was right, Ouijawii's not ready to grind the red dragons yet. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he opts for a grind inside Sherlock. Of course, in order to do that, he has to visit the basement in here now.
Alright, so Tristal remembered that he doesn't have the token. It sounded good in my head until I said it, okay? You know what I meant. This is a totally family-friendly stream here with the jerk.
Ouijawii picking up the rainbow drop. Tristal knows where the token is, and with that excellent move, he'll have no problem.
Phrasing is difficult when the jerk is your inside joke.
And Tristal opting for the red dragon grind, so we'll get to take a look at how different these two grinds are. I think I would opt for the red dragon myself. Ouijawii will get the opportunity to actually find out what's in Sharlock, and it looks like he's going to try to dive for the sword at the same time. Now this makes a lot of sense. If he's successful and he needs more levels, I'm sure he will immediately head toward the red dragons. And Tristal unfortunately falling to a 38 damage attack.
Yeah, they'll still hit you for quite a lot, unfortunately.
I imagine it's more tempting to take a risk like that when you're so close to Hawksness from home. Unless he was just suiciding on purpose to get the token and go into Sharlock. I wasn't watching that closely. It's hard to watch both people at once sometimes.
Yeah, going down for the sword is definitely what you want to do now. If you, the red dragon is a really nice grind spot. However, only if you can afford to fight him so often.
Oh, but Tristal is going back to grind more against the red dragons. So it must have been a mistake. Or rather, taking a risk.
So Tristal is what, 4 red dragons away from the next level?
Doesn't seem like it'll take that long. I really like the idea of grinding on the red dragons. So we'll see how much this actually narrows the experience gap. Gap.
Gap. Whoops. MP are we at? They have a decent amount. I definitely like the idea of going through Sherlock myself.
Tristal taking another risk with 35 HP, but you can see it's not that huge of a risk. The red dragon doing only 21 on that attack. And Tristal has a lot of damage to go. So you can easily see with the low attack damage Tristal is doing why Ouijawii opted to go into Sharlock. They're about 1,600 apart right now. It's going to be very interesting to see how closely these grinds compare.
By the way, definitely shoutouts to Ouijawii for doing Sherlock in the dark. He definitely got a lot of that practice through his Dragon Warrior runs. I don't want to say it's an easy thing to do. I know a lot of people can do it, but it's still really neat to see every single time, I think.
Ouijawii's got to be careful too. He's actually very low on MP right now. He might not want to fight everything on the way down, but his agility is fairly low as well, so it might be difficult to make it to the bottom. Tristal reaches level 15. Of course, he also has to heal in between. He might just do a suicide here. He's looking at the feasibility for beating the Dragon Lord, but with 92 HP, I don't expect him to be optimistic about his chances. So he does opt for a suicide for healing. And while he is healing, of course, Ouijawii will widen the experience gap a little bit. If I did choose to grind the red dragons in this situation, I wonder how long it would be before I decided to change my mind and dive into Sharlock. They're kind of close. I like both decisions, and it's like Hawksness is so appealing because it's so close to home.
You know, Tantagel, the inhabitants are probably really stressed, living right beside Hawksness and the Dragon Lord. That's rough.
Rough life. Of course, being in a castle, you might feel pretty safe.
So, unfortunately, Ouijawii has been sent back home.
As I mentioned, it's looking like it'll be a difficult dive if you're trying to fight everything, and if you weren't, it would be difficult to run from everything, so... I think the best option for Ouijawii is to try and conserve those hurt mores against the enemies that are easy to run from, even though they're so tempting and so valuable, if he really wants to get the sword out of this, if that's his objective. But if not, he's still gaining a lot from the smaller mobs.
Though here we have problems like trying 2 Hermores on the blue dragon, and it just doesn't work because the blue dragon is kind of rude.
He is 2 or 3 enemies away from level 16 after this fight, so we'll see what that brings him.
Yeah, Tristal is probably thinking that because he knows where the sword is and that it is very close, in theory, Sherlock is right by. It might be just better to get the final last few levels. Right beside the red dragon.
Oh, he still has the hand axe! He never grinded for... Wow, I did not know he didn't have the flame sword.
No, Tristal skipped out on the flame sword.
This is why I mentioned when it's looking likely that the sword is going to be in Sharlock, and you have to grind something like red dragons in Hawksness, it becomes pretty significant to get a strong weapon, like when you can't use Hurtmore against your grind enemy.
There was a silver shield in coal, which I don't believe Ouijawii actually ended up finding. Alright, so we've got 18 power, 6 hit points, and 9 MP. Oh wow, that attack power.
18. Well, he's got to be looking and going now. 98 HP, 12 heal mores. Gonna take about 11 attacks to beat the Dragon Lord. So I imagine he's just gonna heal up and go. The only issue is his agility is low, so getting down there with all heal mores is gonna be difficult. But it looks like he's gonna try it. How will it turn out? We'll find out. Oh, did he just cast Return? Oh, he must have used Wings. Tristal now calmly approaching level 16, which just might be the last level these players go for. Ouijawii has a chance here if he gets a lucky dive and the sword is in the basement. He could beat the Dragon Lord right here. I didn't even consider that. I didn't even consider the fact that they're not actually wearing. Ouijawii doesn't actually have Erdrick's sword yet. I was looking at his stats, and I said to myself, he can win without the sword. Like, rather, he can win it as a current attack power. If the sword is actually down there, and he picks it up, it's gonna be a very quick automatic victory. But the key now is actually making it down there.
Tristal's only a few red dragons away from the level. So we do have potential for this to be close, depending on how Ouijawii's walk goes.
If something were to defeat Ouijawii right now, the players would be nearly exactly even, and we would have a tremendously interesting finish.
And Tristal does have the advantage of the silver shield.
Ouijawii with armored knights on the middle floor is very dangerous.
And getting some good runs from them, amazingly enough.
What I didn't realize is that once he picks up the sword, he's going to have enough attack power that he can burn through a few healmores very safely. And so, if he can't run from an armored knight, I think that's what he'll do. Like here, I bet he will use a healmore and try to continue running. No, I was wrong!
He tries to run, and he gets taken out.
So we have an even race, ladies and gentlemen. What will happen? Tristal just about to defeat this red dragon for level 16. You cannot ask for a closer situation than this. Oh no, he didn't beat the red dragon!
Oh dear me. I wonder if he will just go straight to Sherlock because he knows he is like one enemy away from the next level. He doesn't, I suppose. He doesn't think it's close enough that he would want to risk that.
You talking about Ouijawii?
I meant Tristal.
Because he did go to Hawksness.
To Sherlock.
Oh, Sherlock. Yeah, my guess is, well, obviously he doesn't know the 18 power is coming, so he's expecting to have to grind here for another level. Little does he know what's about to happen.
Grind more.
Here we go. Both players.
That was some timing on Tristal's part. He just got some sort of follower notification that popped up right after he got his level. Well, that was fun.
So Ouijawii has the lead, but once again, he's taking the risk against an armored knight, and it worked this time. He's going in the dark now. Only has 3 herbs left.
Oh, you know, I just realized I forgot to click Tristal's rainbow drop. I'm sorry.
And again, Ouijawii takes the risk and dies.
Ooh, boy.
He could easily survive if he used another heal more.
Perhaps he's not thinking about getting the sword. Perhaps he's just thinking about
like
saving all his MP.
Like I did. I had the same thought initially. I totally forgot that, you know, he was strong enough without the sword. That he still had the option of getting the sword and becoming even stronger.
Now keep in mind, Tristal does have the exact same agility, so the same problems are going to be present. The only difference will be that Tristal has a 10 defense advantage.
And if he remembers that he can burn healmores and pick up the sword, he's very likely to emerge victorious.
Yeah, it all comes down to that sort of thinking. That's a little bit next level thinking, I want to say. I want to think that in a live situation, I might not be able to think that myself, but we're very close right now. It all is going to depend on how their runs through the castle go.
I would say 10 heal more is McGrew, but yeah, ultimately you have the right idea. 9 or 10, like somewhere in that region. That's very true. 12 heal mores just makes it, you know, extremely safe, like 99% to win type thing. And there's Tristal using a heal more against an Armored Knight. It's the way to go. No question he'll look for the sword now. Interesting thought that if either player made it down with all 12 heal mores, they probably would not look for the sword. Especially if the bottom floor had dangerous enemies.
Yeah, it's always interesting when there's an option like that.
Tristal now on the bottom 3 floors.
Yeah, to be fair though, Tristal does not have the flame sword, so he would need the sword anyway.
Oh, that's right. It's not an option for him. Alright everyone, all bets are in. Which chest has the sword?
We've got starting gold.
I believe that's the one I predicted, bottom middle.
Bottom middle goes to Nest Cardinality and Yakuza Ne-chan.
There you have it.
That's strange. It does say for me currently that Tristal does have the hand axe. Would be very strange if it were popping up anywhere else. Anyway, I'm going to change that now to Erdrick's sword.
Tristal's still holding on to 11 heal mores. This battle will be automatic. If he finds a red dragon here, oh he does, then he's likely to have to use 1 heal more. But he's so strong, he might not even have to use 1. Like he can beat it on this attack, yeah, so he just goes for it.
Yeah, depending on how many herbs came through. Oh, he is all 6. He is set, and Ouijawii is also going for the sword. Starting with middle, which we know is not it. Ouijawii is taking the long run.
And Tristal now above 99% to win. I think only a menu error would lose him this fight. Opting for the heal more, which makes perfect sense. He's totally safe with 10 heal mores. And he gets the stop spell as an added bonus. (22, 23), and neither of those are his maximum. Incredibly good rolls. Already having done 66 damage in 3 attacks, this will be over quickly. 13 nearly his minimum. Yeah, nobody has the HP to use the Death Necklace.
Yeah, Death Necklace was in the treasury, however, no one will be using it in this seed.
Next hit extremely likely and 2 hits guaranteed to beat the Dragon Lord. So, congratulations to Tristal.
There we have it.
He said he was out of practice and not really feeling in the groove, ready to play. but he played an excellent race and he pulled through in the end. And Ouijawii seeing the news and pausing briefly on the red dragon. The red dragon dodging an excellent move. Ouijawii with the sword knows he can go down to 8 heal mores and still be safe.
So Tristal finished in 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 19 seconds. Ah, nice. Ouijawii gets half of the world.
Nice.
That's a very good trade-off, wouldn't you? Wait, what's happening? Oh, Ouijawii's gonna take a nice rest. Ah, the true ending, and now we will continue this in Dragon Quest Builders. So, I assume very soon. Actually, I just realized I was on mute in Discord, however, nobody else is in there yet, so that's okay. But let's unmute myself. Alright, so as Tristal music is ending, and he will probably join us in Discord, I will probably just want to mute his stream and find a little bit of other music to play.
Probably want to put on Ouijawii's stream music. I joke.
You're a very funny guy.
I know.
I like you. You're a nice human. So let's just hope that is the proper volume.
So beautiful.
That would make for an interesting relay. Say yes to the Dragon Lord, and then go on to the next game.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello!
Yes.
I can hear you guys.
Excellent.
Fantastic. So,
You do Ouijawii.
congratulations, Crystal. That was a
Yes.
very close race in the end.
Okay, yeah, it seems like it should have been.
Yeah. It took me a couple of tries to get down to the Dragon Lord. When I finally got there, I think I was a little low on MP to finish it out anyway, so.
Okay. Yeah, my Charlock dive was hashtag blessed. Like, it was I had no encounters on, like, a floor and maybe one on a second floor. It was pretty great.
No. Yeah, I was getting encounters up the butt the entire time. It's pretty much Blue Dragons and Arbor Knights. That's all I really saw.
Ugh. Nope, what I did see mostly was just, like, a Star Wyvern and stuff like that, werewolves, so.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race overall. In the beginning, you guys sort of flip-flop between who was exploring and who was grinding, and then after that, well, Ouijawii got the definite lead by finding Remolder first and then opening everything else out, but in the end, Tristal, you're choosing to grind in Hawksness, evened it all out, and you actually guys ended up making your final dives at just about the same time. It was really fun to watch.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it took me forever to find Remeldar and Cole, which was just usually deadly to any run. So I'm surprised I pulled it out, but I'm very glad.
I never did find Cole. I just I was banking on the red dragon having the token, and if he didn't have it, then I figured I'd be in big trouble. But luckily he did. I didn't grind there though, because after I killed him once, I realized he depleted half of my magic just on heal more. So maybe I had some bad rolls. I don't know, but I didn't grind there at all.
Did you go HP or agility?
I went hit points. I tried to kill the red dragon. My hit points were low until one level. We got like a 20-something point boost.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I killed the red dragon, I said, okay, I'm going to go try and get the sword and then maybe grind on the red dragon after that. But I kept dying on the way to the sword, so I never really leveled up. I never really got the chance to level up on the red dragon, and I ended up getting the sword on my final run. I think it was my third attempt trying to get down there.
Okay, yeah, I actually, that kind of makes me glad I made the decision not to get it until the final dive. I knew because our agility was so low, I thought Charlock was going to be kind of a pain just to dive for the sword. And with Hawksness being right there, the penalty for dying to the red dragons wasn't so extreme, although I certainly died a lot to them anyway. But yeah, our power was high enough to kill the red dragons. The HP was a little bit of a problem, but yeah. That's a little gratifying.
I figured it didn't matter really either way where you wanted to grind it in the castle or Hawksness, because they were both like right next to Tentagel. So I got some good experience when I was trying to dive for the sword. I just hit the level where when I hit that 16, I looked at the stats and said, this is good enough. The agility's bad, but if I can make it down there. So I just I left the castle, and then I tried the dive and just never ended up getting to the bottom. But that was a good seed. I enjoyed it. It wasn't. It was interesting at first because trying to find a grind spot, there were a few around to choose from, and I was having trouble exploring early game because there were some big monsters all over the place. But it was definitely an interesting seed as far as strategy went, I thought.
Yeah, I did have a lot of good luck early on. I had a couple early Armored Knight encounters where I ran at like 36 agility twice in a row or something like that. And that let me explore a little bit more, but I don't know if that exploration really led to anything early on. Mostly just marking off empty sections of the map that I had gone to but didn't get any good items out of.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is when I got the cords, I said, oh, that's pointing towards a place I haven't explored yet. And when I got over there, I saw a couple of caves and it was like, oh, perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Okay, yeah, that was one of the first places I explored that way, actually. I think the Stones of Sunlight Cave was the first, other than Hawksness and Charlock, of course, the first thing I actually found. I didn't even see the Staff of Rain Cave or Garenham until later on.
Yeah, I went southwest first, so I found those early, and then I went northeast second. And I think I found stuff fairly quick. There was one thing I didn't find, just coal, and I think that was it. I think I found everything else. Where was Cole?
Cole was in the extreme northeast. It was maybe a screen and a half east of Rimeldar.
Oh, okay, yeah, I never did get that far.
Silver Shield ever? Was there one in Rimeldar or Locked Cantlin?
Nope, never saw a Silver Shield.
Okay, there was one in Cole, so I gold grinded briefly at the end to grab that, and that may have helped too.
Yeah, that would have helped at the end for me for sure.
For any comments on our runs?
It was just a long run. Go ahead.
So, yeah, seed like that should be interesting to watch, especially when we're all diving down Charlock with low agility. That's always the hardest part of the game for me. I feel like I lose most of my races trying to get to the Dragon Lord.
I usually have okay luck getting to the Dragon Lord, but maybe sometimes I'm too conservative with how late I try to go. Like, I'll grind out an extra level if I even think Charlock is going to be too tough. Because grinding out a level and diving but dying in Charlock costs roughly the same amount of time.
Yep. Yeah, I thought of that too, but after you die twice on your dives, you're sort of committed, so I just kept going with it.
Yeah, well, at least the levels kind of made it obvious when we were supposed to go. I mean, we got 98 hit points and something like 149, 151 attack power, something like that. So yeah, it wasn't too difficult to figure out.
Right amount of magic if you wanted to burn a heal more on the way down.
Yep, and I did end up having to do that against an AK.
That was probably my mistake not burning one earlier. I was trying to wait till I got to like the second or third to last floor before I'd use one, but I kept dying before then.
Gotcha. Well, GG. I'm glad I could win the second of our matches, and if we meet again, then we'll really see.
Yeah, hopefully
maybe next year. Hopefully, not so much this year.
Yeah, good luck to you staying up there in the winner bracket.
Yeah, you've got some winnable matches in the losers bracket, hopefully. So, although none of them are easy, of course, and this one certainly was not for me. I'm actually a little surprised I won, given how good you thrashed me in last night's practice run. Maybe by like 20 minutes or something like that. It was absurd.
That seed was awful. I mean, I was actually at the Dragon Lord before anybody finished, and I got some really terrible rolls in that race, like 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So I went for a yellow hurt more and lost. It was just one of the worst seeds I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, the seed was kind of shaping up to be kind of gross for me at the beginning, so I was just hoping it wasn't a repeat. But apparently it was really close, so that's roughly what I was asking for in the beginning, so pretty good.
Well, thanks for the race, Tristal, and for the restream, Spark Over and Nescard and commentary.
Thank you for putting
thank
on
you
a
very
great
much
show.
for the restream.
It was a great race.
So yeah, looking ahead, we will have Tristal playing Zarnax 42, and we will have Ouijawii playing the Seawolf 1. So it'll be some more fun rounds. Any other comments on the race at all?
No, just a thank you guys for restreaming on fairly short notice. I know both mine and Ouijawii's schedules are a little awkward, so thanks for stepping up.
We do what we can. Always fun to help out. All right, well, I suppose that's it then. Have a lovely night, everybody. And, oh, I guess I could have pulled up the schedule. I do not know when the next race is, unfortunately, but please have a lovely night, everybody, and I'm sure I will see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves, and please remember to hydrate.
Have a good night, everyone.